Hello and welcome to Movement Mondays. I am Alex Weaver. This is 80 Waffles Weaver. And for tonight's class, all you will need is yourself, yoga mat, a chair or a bench, your water, and I believe that's it. Let me double check. Yep, that's it. So grab your stuff, make sure your space is all set up. I'm gonna make sure the live stream looks good and we'll get started here in just a second. Perfect. So we'll get started here in just a sec. So if you're just now joining, all you need for tonight's class is yourself, a yoga mat, some water, and then a bench or chair or something sturdy enough to put your body weight onto safely. All right, perfect. So go ahead and have a seat on your yoga mat if you have not already done so, or if you're more comfortable in a chair or on, like in a chair or laying on your back with your knees bent, you can also try that. So we're going to start today's class with some alternate nostril breathing. So we've done this before. So for this exercise, you're going to breathe entirely through your nose. You're going to take your finger or your pointing finger, it doesn't really matter. Honestly, you can use any of your fingers, but I like to switch between my thumb and my pointer finger. And you're going to block one nostril. So I'm starting with my left nostril blocked. And I'm going to inhale through my right nostril, switch sides while holding, and then exhale through my left nostril. I'm then going to inhale through my left nostril, switch, exhale, right nostril. So then you kind of continue that pattern. So you're going to switch back and forth. So each time you'll inhale, switch at the top, exhale. Inhale, switch at the top, exhale. So we're going to do 2 continuous minutes of alternate nostril breathing here. Try to relax. Try to think about breathing deeply into your belly. So I say this every week. When I say breathe deeply, I mean think about letting your diaphragm drop into your belly. Your belly might expand. Your lateral ribs might expand. You might even feel your low back expand. But really allow the air to fill your core. And the last thing that should happen is your chest should rise. So if you feel like you're breathing in, the first thing that's happening is your shoulders are coming up. Chances are you're not really getting into that belly. So really try to belly breathe here. So go ahead, take a couple normal breaths here. Maybe take a sip of your water. Not for you, buddy. Lay down. Relax. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. So 2 minutes here. So whichever nostril you want to start with. right, so that was 2 minutes. So notice how you're feeling. I personally am feeling both more energized and calmer than I was 2 minutes ago. So yeah, just kind of notice what's happening. Take note, and then we're gonna move into our movement part of this session. So if you aren't already on the floor, go ahead and come to your mat or the floor. Go ahead and switch to a tabletop position. So knees are going to be under the hips, hands under the shoulders. We're going to, again, I say this every week, you can play with this breathing pattern to find out what works for you. But for me, I'm going to inhale, drop my belly and look forward. And then exhale, spine comes towards the ceiling, neck and chin are tucked. Then inhale, exhale. So you can also reverse that and go the opposite direction. So inhale when your spine comes up, exhale when your belly comes down. But move with your breath here for 5 reps. Perfect. So you can go ahead and come up of your hands, come to a position where you're laying on your back. We're going to do a set of glute bridges here. So feet are going to be hip width apart. Shoulders are going to make a nice connection with the ground. So I kind of like to tuck my shoulders, bring them under. I'm going to engage my core so that my low back is pressed to the floor. And then I'm going to take my hands to my sides and I'm going to squeeze my glutes and hamstrings to come up. Hold for 2 seconds here and then back down. We're going to do a set of 12. You can inhale or exhale as you come up and then vice versa, coming down. Just make sure you move with your breath here. So keep that connection to breath today. Perfect. So stay lying on your back. Go ahead and extend your legs out. You're going to take whichever knee you'd like, pull it into your chest, so one side at a time. So I have my right knee. So if you have your right knee, you're going to pull your knee across your body. So I'm going to take my right arm, extend it out, and pull my right knee over towards the left side, towards the floor, as far as I can. You can look at the screen if you're not sure what I'm talking about right now. Then take 3 deep breaths here. Back to center, you can squeeze that knee into your chest, and then switch. So other knee comes up, hugging that in. Left arm comes out, pulling across. 3 deep breaths. Perfect. So again, you can hug that knee in for a second and then come back. So go ahead and come to a seated position now. So we're going to wake up our shoulders a little bit. So go ahead, take your hands, bring them to the tops of your knees. First things first, we're going to work with the neck. So bring your chin to your chest. Take 3 deep breaths here. Then slowly make a big circle with the tip of your nose one way and then the other way, each time returning to that chin to chest position. Try to keep your shoulders down and away from your ears. Perfect. So now we're going to do some shoulder shrugs. You can see that I'm slowly bringing my shoulders up, rolling them back, squeezing my shoulder blades together on the way down. You can keep your hands on your knees and then switch directions. Play around with it a little bit. And then take your arms, extend them out to the side. We're just going to do some gentle arm circles forward. And backwards. Perfect. So if you want to pull your arm across for a little bit of a stretch here, you can. And we're going to come up into a hamstring stretch, which today is going to look a little bit like a forward fold for those of you who do yoga. So instead of keeping your knees nice and tight for this, you're going to let your knees bend as much as you need to and just let yourself kind of sink towards the ground here. Your hat might fall off if you're wearing a hat, no worries. So just really let yourself sink into the ground. And then walk your hands over towards the left. Take a few deep breaths. Over towards the right. Remember, you can have a generous bend in your knees if you want here. Keep that focus in the breath. And then go ahead and come up. And we're going to sit into a deep squat stretch. We're not going to do our back and forth today. We're just going to sit in this stretch for about 10 to 15 seconds. So go ahead and come into that deep squat stretch position. So right down into your squat. Elbows can be on the inside of your knees, giving you a little pressure to push the knees out. Maybe the knees are pressing against the elbows to give tension in return. You're engaging your core, your pelvic floor. You're really just sitting into this position, maybe shifting side to side a little bit like I am right now. A few deep breaths. And then go ahead and come all the way up. Reach for the sky. Stretch anything else you feel like you need to, and we're going to get started with this workout. So first things first today, we're going to start with some bird dogs. So circuit 1, 4 movements as usual. I'm going to go through each movement. We'll do it. Second time through, we'll go straight through. So I'm going to open these blinds again. Really can figure out the lighting in this room. All right, so first things first here, we're going to start with some bird dogs. So bird dogs, you are starting on your tabletop position, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, and then if you've never done these before, you're going to start with just extending one leg, coming back, keeping both hands on the ground, like this. If that feels doable and you want to make it a little more challenging, you can then extend opposite arm, opposite leg, and come back, like so. So we're going to do 45 seconds continuous here. Try to keep your core engaged. 10-second countdown. Go. Great job. So for this next movement, you can either sit or you can stand. It's up to you. I'm going to sit. So we've done these before. They are rotator cuff rotations. So you're going to start with your arms like so, and you're going to slowly rotate down as far as is comfortable, and then come back up. So the idea here is that you're trying not to elevate the shoulder, drop the shoulder. You're trying to keep the shoulder in the same rotating. And so you're going to be here, slowly rotating forward, slowly rotating back for 45 seconds continuous. So 10-second countdown. And go. You can also do these with your breath, maybe inhaling as you drop your hand, exhaling as you pull back up. The slower, the better here. Great job. Okay, so next we have step ups. So this is where that chair or sturdy stool that I told you to grab will come in handy. If you don't have a chair or bench, that's okay. You can also do high knees in place, or you can use like the bottom stair on a set of stairs. You can even step up onto a yoga block. It doesn't have to be anything too high. So let me show you high knees in place first. So if you're doing high knees in place, you're just gonna march like so. You can also do these seated the exact same way. If you are doing step ups, you are going to 1 foot on the chair or bench, engage your core, driving from the leg that's up on the chair. You're going to come up and then back down. So I'm controlling both directions with this leg. I'm not launching myself with this back leg. I'm really trying to keep the control in my front leg, especially in my hamstrings and glutes. So really coming up and back down. So you're going to rotate legs here. We're going to do 45 seconds continuously. So 10-second countdown. All right. So last but not least, we're going to do a plank with rotation. So this can be done on either your forearms or your hands. This can also be done at an incline on the wall or on the floor. So I'm going to start by demonstrating on the wall. So in a plank position on the wall, you're going to rotate away and then back. Away and then back. So alternating hands. Same thing on a chair. When you get to the floor, it gets a little trickier. On the floor, you can either be on your forearms, like so, and then rotate, back to center, rotate, back to center, or you can be on your hands, same thing, rotate. Notice my feet are shifting, so I have a little bit more of a tripod, back to center, shift, rotate, back to center. So you can do whatever feels good for you. I would suggest, you might see me moving my mat right now, if you're on a yoga mat and you're gonna shift your feet, sometimes it's nice to have your feet off the mat, unless they're slipping on your floor, in which case, maybe not. But we're gonna do 45 seconds, continuous 10-second countdown. And go. And you can still move with your breath here. So I'm exhaling when I'm coming down and inhaling when I'm coming up. Great job. So grab some water. We're gonna go back through that whole circuit here in just a second. This time through, it'll be 30 seconds per movement. So a few more seconds. Feel free to stretch anything you feel you need to stretch. Also, I think I forgot to say this first round. For the bird dogs, if you inhale when you're extending, so like so, here, inhale as you extend, exhale to squeeze to come back to center. I think it makes them a little easier. All right, so another round. Let's do 30 seconds for everything this time. So 10-second countdown. Get ready. Great job. So remember, you can be seated or standing for these rotator cuff rotations. And 10-second countdown. And again, try to keep that connection with breath today. You can also imagine that your hands are almost orbiting around your elbow, and your elbow is at a fixed point in space. If that's helpful. Perfect. All right, so step ups. Head on over to your spot for step ups, or you can do seated high knees or standing high knees. 10-second countdown. Great job. All right, so last but not least for this round, we have the rotational plank. So 10-second countdown. Go. Great job. Okay, so grab some water. In just a second, I'm going to start talking us through our second set today. All right, so first thing we are doing for circuit 2 is going to be lateral lunges. So lateral lunges, you are in a nice wide stance. You're going to engage your core, shift my hip is shifting back and over. So I'm sitting into this hip to come over and back to center. So you can either keep your foot, actually look at this foot this time. You can either keep your foot flat on the ground or you can pivot a little if you want. I prefer to keep my foot flat on the ground. So shifting over and back to center. So again, you're not shifting, you might be able to see this easier from the front view. You're not coming forward like this, right? I'm coming forward like this. So we're sitting into my hamstring and glute as I shift to the side. So we're gonna do 45 seconds alternating sides. If these don't feel good for you, another option, excuse me, I just choked on my own spit. So another option if these don't feel good is clamshells. However, it's going to be difficult to switch sides. So I take that back. If you are not feeling lateral lunges today, you can either do regular lunges or you can do alternating side fire hydrants, like so. So lifting, coming back to center, lifting, coming back to center, really engaging that outer hip. So whichever you choose, 10-second countdown. And go. Great job. Okay, so number 2 for circuit 2 is Spider-Man push-ups. So you can do these on a wall, you can do these, well, maybe not on a chair. I would say wall or floor, and you can do them kneeling or full extension on the floor. So if you are on a wall, you're gonna start with one hand 6 inches-ish, 6 to 8 inches higher than the other. So my right hand is lower, my left hand is higher. That midline between my two hands is going to be where my normal hand position would be for a push-up. So normally I want my hands to land right around my armpits for push-ups. So here, if I know that when I come in, this is where I'd normally be, I'm going to take this hand, move it up, this hand, move it down. So I'm coming towards the wall, pressing, and back. I'm switching towards the wall, pressing, coming back. So that's on the wall. On the ground, it's going to look a little bit different, but very similar. So I'm going to do these kneeling today, but you can also do them in full extension. So kneeling, one hand is a little further back than the other. You're coming down, pressing, and then switching. Really keeping that tension in your chest. So again, you can do them as a full push-up. I will not be doing that today, but adjust these as you need. You can also do regular push-ups in any variation here. So 45 seconds, 10-second countdown. Great job. So next up, we have a super person hold. So we've done super people many times before. I'm not sure we've done a hold. So here, you're gonna aim for a 10-second hold each time. So what does that look like? Okay, so if we're running the clock for 45 seconds, you're gonna come up into a super person. So again, what that looks like is laying on your stomach, arms extended out, inhaling to come up, and then maybe continuing to breathe very gently. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lowering back down gently. So I count to 5, then I'm gonna come up again. So you really don't have to do 10 seconds, but anywhere between 5 and 10 seconds. You can also just come up, hold as long as you can, and then come back down and take a break. But really elongate that time you spend in the up position today. If it doesn't feel good to lift your legs for this, you can also do a cobra variation, where your hands are at your sides, feet stay on the floor, and you're just coming up like this. And back down. So adjust that as you need to. So 10-second countdown. And then we're right back at it. Great job. Okay, so last but not least for this round, we have toe touch crunches. So for those, you are going to lay on your back. Legs are going to be straight up. It's okay if you have to bend your knees a little bit because your hamstrings are tight. No big deal. So legs are up. You are engaging your core, maybe exhaling. So exhaling to come up and back down. It's okay if you're not even getting remotely close to your feet. You can just crunch up towards your feet and back down. So you're really just using that core. You're not straining your neck. As a matter of fact, you want to try to look neutrally at the ceiling for these. So we're going to do 45 seconds continuous here. Rest and then repeat. So 10-second countdown. Great job. All right, so grab some water. We're going to run through that second circuit one more time. And then finish with some very fun seated Russian twists, which are new. We've done these in class before. And then you are done for today. So a few more minutes of rest here. Feel free to stretch anything you need to right now. All right. So get ready. We're going to start with either those lateral lunges or fire hydrants. Your choice. 10-second countdown. And go. Awesome. So next we have those Spider-Man push-ups, whichever variation you'd like. I will again be doing the kneeling. You are welcome to do whatever variation feels good for you. So 10-second countdown. And go. Amy, it's okay, buddy. Buddy, no barking. Great job. What are you barking at? Bird? Leave that bird alone. Amy has a lot of feelings about birds today. All right, so next up we have that super person hold. So remember, you don't have to hold the whole 45 seconds. You can come up and hold in increments. It doesn't have to be any specific set of time. Maybe it's just finding that appropriate edge where it's hard but not too hard. So whatever that looks like for you, try to challenge yourself here. And you can also do the Cobra variation. So 10-second countdown. Great work. So last but not least, we have 45 seconds of toe touch crunches. Remember, you're exhaling when you come up, inhaling on the way back down. You can also do these with your hands and your feet on the ground, or with your knees up. So 10-second countdown. So last but not least, we're gonna do a new movement today. For this, you can sit on the floor, you can sit on a chair. I think it's a little better on a chair. So you have a chair, go and grab it. If you don't have a chair, you can sit on the edge of your couch. Anything where you can plant your feet firmly on the ground. So we're gonna do a little postural check-in here. So for these, we're going to try to sit up nice and tall. You can imagine that a little invisible string is at the top of your head, pulling you into a very straight postural alignment. So really just imagining sitting up very tall. And then we're going to engage our core. So I say that a lot. Different people respond to different cues when I say engage your core. So for some people, it might feel like pulling your belly button towards your spine. For some people, it might feel like inhaling and bracing. For some people, it might feel like almost like crunching down a little bit to pull, almost like you're pulling your hips towards your ribs. So whatever that feels like for you, I want you to engage that core and then extend both your arms out and intertwine your fingers. So my arms are locked. So keeping that super stiff, very just engaged core, we're going to slowly rotate through the core. So this is as far as I can go, right? So because my core is engaged, I'm not going to get very far. So this is kind of like my dead end, and I'm going to come back to center. So I'm going to inhale as far as I can with my core only, and back to center. So no back arching, trying not to rotate. You're only turning as far as your core will let you. So it's not going to be a big movement. We're going to do this slowly and with control, keeping tight core engagement for 45 seconds, and then you are done for today. So 10-second countdown. And if you're thinking right now, oh, this is going to be really easy, if you do this correctly, it will not be easy. So feet on the ground, take breaks as you need, keep that core engaged, sit up nice and tall. Go. And that is all I have for you today. So great job, everyone. Thank you for coming to this class. So again, I'm Alex Weaver. I am coach and owner of Alien Athletes. This little doggo wandering around is A.D. Waffles Weaver, and he is the assistant coach at Alien Athletes. He's very, very good at coaching. This class usually happens every Monday at 6 p.m. However, next Monday is a holiday, so we will not be having class. So we'll be back the following week. I also will be taking some time off from coaching in June. So I'm not sure of the dates yet, but I will let everyone know next class for sure which dates those will be. And then I will be back after that, and we will continue. During the weeks that this class doesn't happen, if you'd like to do the old classes, they are available on the Thunderwell and Thundermist in Alien Athletes Facebook pages if you scroll down the feed, and also on the YouTube channels, I believe. So again, thank you all for attending this class. I'm Alex Weaver. Thank you, Thundermist, for sponsoring this class, and I will see you all the week after next. Not next Monday, we don't have class. Thank you all.